Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Unscripted. I am Dawn Mitchell, and I'm so happy for this week's guest. And the timing could not be more perfect. A few months ago, in preparation for the show, I sat down with Nuggets assistant coach and former Timberwolves head coach, Ryan Saunders, who, we all know now, is in the midst of the NBA postseason against the Wolves. Two teams going head-to-head. Who would have thunk it? And the Wolves also have the series lead. Tonight, also a nod to his dad, Flip Saunders, and much more. I give you now Ryan Saunders, Unscripted. Ryan, now you can add NBA champion to the list. You go to Denver, you're with the Nuggets, you're not even there very long, and you get the ring. How does that feel?
Yeah, no, it feels great. It's one of those things that you work so hard for throughout your career, and especially if you're in pro sports. A lot of people never get the opportunity, and I'm just very fortunate to be with an unbelievable organization and a great group of people. And we were able to get it done last year and keep trying to find ways to win. But we know it just gets tougher and tougher.
Well, every Minnesotan, even though they leave the state to do whatever they need to do, you're never really leaving us, right? So there's so many people that have been reaching out, congratulating you.
Yeah.
How has the feedback been from everyone back home here? I mean, they're saying, listen, Flip is up there saying, woo, we did it.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. My wife is from Minnesota. Both my kids were born in Minnesota. Minnesota is always going to be home. Obviously we wish we were still there, more, but, we're very happy here in Denver. We also, you mentioned my dad, Flip, and he, I think he's doing some version of celebrating. I know he's celebrating, but I also know he's so competitive that, he's definitely a little jealous that I was able to get that NBA championship ring. But I'm sharing it with him.
I know that you always say you'd find coins, and Flip was known for his coins.
Yeah.
Were there any coins or anything that you found before or after it happened?
No, but it seems like my kids seem to find, like, the pennies now go to them. So if anybody doesn't know the story, my mother, we had lost our dog, or our dog had passed away at some point. And I don't know, I think it was 10 years ago, and my mom and sisters were missing the dog. And one day, my mom found a coin. She's like, "Oh, maybe that's a sign that, the dog Cinnamon is looking down on us." And then 2 days later, she's like, "I'm finding tons of coins." And then 3 days later, she saw my dad on his hands and knees putting coins around the house. And that was just the type of guy he was. But yeah, my kids seem to find the coins. So I think he's moved on to them. And be an angel grandpa for them.
Well, on a personal note, then, how emotional was it for you when you actually, I know you're getting the ring soon in a ceremony. Will that kind of be the time when it sinks in for you? Or how about on the court when you actually did it for you personally?
Yeah.
Like, this is a fulfillment of dreams of the family as well.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. And it was it was weird. Once it all, I've had to go back and kind of replay it a little bit. Watching the end of that game 5, because as it's happening, it doesn't feel real. You really just work day by day, just as an organization, as a collective group to, try to take care of the next day. And, we felt like we were playing for so long, which is a great thing. But then once the buzzer sounded, it was like, okay, now what? It felt like there was something, you had to do something else. But, then you realize, like, I think it was me and Dave Edelman, who's a close friend, who's also on staff here. We just looked at each other because, we were talking a lot. His dad was always chasing the ring too. Mm-hmm. And, we just kind of looked at each other, embraced in that moment. It was a pretty cool thing. And then I was able to find my family in the crowd. And then the kids, they stayed up a little later that night and got to celebrate on the court too. So it was just all in all an unbelievable experience.
You have 2 kids now, right? Isn't that true?
I do, yeah. 4-year-old and 2-year-old.
Oh, so, I mean, life at home is just so quiet then, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You said you're potty training?
Yeah, we're potty training the 2-year-old at the moment. So Sophia, and she's a pistol. So she's a little resistant. But Mom, my wife Haley, she's been unbelievable in her coaching and teaching, and so yeah, we think we're good now.
Do you sometimes time goes by so fast? I have lost my parents, and sometimes you don't lose track of the time, but it goes by fast. And this year,
Yeah,
we're coming up this October, 8 years
yeah,
without your dad. Has it gone faster than you thought, or slower, or how's that been for
yeah,
you?
yeah. I mean, I think early on, and like you said, anybody who's lost a parent, lost somebody they're close to, it's a club you don't want to be a part of, but it's one that you know we're all going to be a part of at some point. But you early on in grief, I think you lose somebody, and time kind of goes really slow when you're trying to figure things out. And then as time goes on, and some of these big life moments happen, you obviously wish they were there, but you also are able to enjoy them. The kids being born, marriages, and then from me winning an NBA championship, you wish that he was here, but you also it's been fast. It's kind of gone fast now because it's kind of like one of those. I can't imagine. He was. My kids were obviously born after he had passed away, and you can't imagine life without them. So it's one that you don't think as much about. Kind of the past, but you wish that we were all able to celebrate these times together.
I feel like I've grown up with you a little bit. I got here in '04.
Yeah.
You were playing for the Gophers when I first got here. And then you became a grad assistant under Tubby. And is that when you first knew, when you were a grad assistant, or was it when you were playing that,
Yeah.
after my playing days are kind of done, I love this coaching gig?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I knew I wasn't good enough to play. I knew I wanted to stay in basketball. I was also realistic and knew that being a professional player was not going to be my path. But and coaching was the next best thing. And my dad, I think, like all coaches, they try to talk their kids out of going into coaching because they know the rigors and the ups and downs that come with it, and the time away from family. My dad tried to talk me out of it. I was very stubborn and still am, and have stuck with it. And now I feel very happy with the way a lot of things have gone in this profession, this career. And yeah, it's been something that I really, really just do enjoy.
How was that? You're kind of chip off the old block, you know what I mean? You're competitive, you want to still coach, he doesn't
Yeah,
want you to coach,
yeah,
Yeah, how was
yeah.
that?
No, he knew in the end that it was going to be my decision, and that's something that I feel not just him but my parents, they've always been great with. Hey, whatever you guys want to do, just put everything you have into it. They've been very supportive in whatever that looks like. And my it's been funny. My son, he's 4, and the other day was his first day of second year of preschool, but his first day of school. And on his little chalkboard, that all the kids hold up, and you post the pictures on Facebook and Instagram. We asked him what he wanted to be, and he said he wanted to be a coach. And immediately I told him, hey, you're going to be way too smart to do something like that. And my wife told me, she's like, hey, just let him enjoy it for a little bit. He sees what you do, and so that was kind of fun to see. But I tried to talk him out of it, but I think I got a few more years.
Yeah, Flip's up there going, this is what they call payback, my friend. This
Right?
is payback.
Exactly.
I know exactly that
Exactly.
feeling. So when you're
Yeah.
out in Washington, D.C. and coaching with your dad, that's kind of in that professional
Yeah.
setting.
Oh yeah.
How weird was that for you to adjust?
Oh, it was a challenge. It was a challenge, I think, on both of our ends. And if he was here, he would tell you the same thing. It was. I think it was one of those things that you have the relationship of hey, he's always been my best friend. He's father son best friend. But then as you get into the high stakes world of wins and losses and professional sports, there are opinions, like there still are with folks that aren't coaches' kids or dads. There's opinions, and you need to be able to work through, I guess you can call it confrontation or healthy dialogue. You need to be able to work through that, and I think it took us a little bit of time, but we got to a great place. And when I say it took us a little bit of time, it was never something that ever simmered. It was just we both had to learn, like, okay, now we're working together, so we need to find a different type of balance. And but he was obviously a big help in my coaching career. And those times with him in Washington, that one year in Minnesota, I'm really, really thankful that I was able to have those moments with him.
I'm going to peel back the curtain on you a little bit. So when you were out in D.C., I remember you would still come back. So people don't know, but you do yoga, I do yoga. We took this hot yoga sculpt class together in Minnetonka like every single week. And you brought John Wall once.
I did, yeah.
No one knew who he was except for me. We're in the back corner. What did he ever say about that experience? I'll tell you what he told me during the class, but what did he say to you?
Yeah, no, I mean, to this day, when I see him, I still keep in touch. But to this day, he still says that was one of the hardest physical activities he's ever done. It was his first time doing hot yoga, and but credit to him, he made it through the class, and he was one of those guys that would try something new. So it was my way of, I guess, I knew I could never keep up with him on the basketball court or any other type of physical activity, but yoga, I thought I could maybe get a little edge on him there. So
yeah, he'd lean over to me and be like, "Hey, how can you stretch like that?" I'm like, "You'll learn." He's like, "I don't know."
Yeah. I want to say he kept it going throughout his career. So I think it was something that he picked up.
You're right, because I did ask your dad. I said, "Hey, does John still do yoga?" And he said, "You know what? That class challenged him so much. And when you're a professional athlete, they don't really like that." He said he found that class in D.C. and I don't know if he's still doing it now, but when I asked your dad, he said he was determined to get better at it because that was finally something that challenged him. And I said, that is brilliant. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's his personality, huh?
I believe it, and that's a great segue into just I think athletes. It's something that just drives professional athletes of hey, the inner competitiveness of wanting to be better and wanting to take on a challenge and do more. And that's one of the things that made this last year for me so much fun, is that it was just a group of guys that all wanted to do more for each other, and it was just really, really special.
Yeah, especially Nikola Jokic, right? Being able to coach a guy like that. I know it's a whole team thing, but when you have special talent like that, that's something too to remember forever. Yeah,
and there isn't much coaching that he needs. He's he's the smartest basketball player I've ever been around, and just unbelievable. His work regimen and his capacity to work was something that I was just in awe of from day one, seeing him. But then the other things that I think are important in life, how he is as a father, as a husband, a family man, being able to see that made you want to help him succeed even more. And I think that his teammates all felt the same way throughout the years. They just see how good of a guy he is and just how he works. He's one of those guys that, just being around him, you want to do better for him. You want to try to help him reach his goal, which was winning an NBA championship. And I really think the team rallied around that as well. And in a sense of, they see what, Nikola puts into every single day. And you can't help but work as hard, try to work as hard as him, because he does have an unbelievable work capacity.
Do you still keep in touch with KG?
A little bit. I feel like people change numbers so often, so haven't spoken a little bit, but from time to time, I'll through a mutual friend or sometimes from a random number, I'll get a message.
Well, I do know one thing. When I first started talking to you, you said you were watching the Gophers football game. You're keeping in touch with what's going on with the Twins. You can't take Minnesota out of the boy, right? You're still very much into it.
Oh, very much so. That's why I wanted to make sure it couldn't be on a Sunday. When we did this, when the Vikings were playing, and I took a little bit of time away from the Gophers, but PJ's a close friend, and I have a lot of respect for all the teams out there, and I'll have a lot of love for Gophers, Twins, Vikes, whoever.
And you even keep an eye on the Timberwolves, although now when you put it to a professional level, it's totally different. Same for me. Sports are different when it's your job, right? So
Yeah.
how do you view the Timberwolves when you're seeing them like sell the team and doing all that? It was such a part of your family, and now, you know, they're the opponent.
Yeah, hey, it's pro sports, and I still wish them, the best, and they got a lot of good things ahead of them, and between Ants and just a lot of good people within that organization, they're going to have some great success moving forward, and like I said, there's still a lot of really good people there, and we'll always our family will always have a lot of love and respect for the Timberwolves.
Plus, your dad's banner is still riding high there
Yeah,
at Target
yeah.
Center, so it will always have a space in your heart. And let me tell you, the Saunders are always part of the Timberwolves, no matter what. All right, well, good luck. Congratulations. Good luck with the family, and we'll see you again soon.
Sounds great, Don. Great to see you.
Thanks so much.